Good morning. So in this video, we're going to set up the garden. Actually, we're going to be not setting it up, but we're going to be planting everything. So I just wanted to let you know that this video is going to be filmed over several days because certain things need to be planted at certain times. So it's going to be a compilation video. To start with, we're going to soak some seeds to get them ready. So I'm just going to go through my seeds here. I keep them in this container. I found a whole bunch of people on YouTube use this and it works great. I already had one for photos, so I bought another one. So I just need to find some. We need to organize this, by the way. It's very disorganized. So I need to look through them here and see what I'm looking for. We need some beans, some peas. What else do I got here? No, not that one. And we need, I'm looking for the pole beans. Oh, there they are. Pole beans. Okay, so we are going to soak these in some water. Usually overnight to a couple days before you're going to plant them is best, but I find overnight is usually fine. So I'm going to take a piece of masking tape here, and I'm going to put which ones are which. Peas are pretty obvious, but the beans, there's two different kinds here, and pole beans are they grow up trellises really far, and bush beans are more of a contained bush. So I want to make sure that I plant them in the right spot. So I'm just going to make a couple labels and put them on the bottom of the bowl here so I know which ones are which later. So we do pole beans in this one. And then I have some bush beans here. You'll see me planting these on a different day later in this video. Okay. Okay, and then literally you just take them and put them all in. I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to need. Let me see what it says here. Every 1 to 2 inches deep and 18 inches apart. So I have a very small space, so I think this amount is probably going to be fine. I'm going to save these for next year. These can be planted a lot of different places, bush beans. They just grow into a bush, so they don't have to be trellised as much as the pole beans. So we're going to, let's see here, maybe about that much. I don't have a ton of space, so I don't want to plant too many. And then we're going to do the entire package of peas. I find beans and peas, they sprout better when you soak them overnight first. So we're going to do the peas in this one. Like that. And then I'll set them aside, and when we're ready to plant, we'll just drain the water and use them. Now we can head to the garden and start planting. These are my plants that I've taken out of the greenhouse to harden them off. They've been hardening off for a while now. We can plant some of these today and some still need to wait. So in this bed, I'm going to plant carrots and green onions. Oh, I forgot my fertilizer. I gotta go get that. Just one sec. Put some fertilizer in. Mix it in a bit. Okay. So Let's plant some onion sets first. I figure we'll plant onions and carrots in fairly close rows together, because onions, green onions don't have a lot of big roots. And this pot here is deep enough for the carrots. Okay, we'll do that. I managed to find the rest of my pelleted carrots. They are wet though, because I found them in the greenhouse. Ooh. So we'll see how many we can salvage here. And I'm just going to go like this and plant them in. They look a little broken up, so we'll see. Hopefully they come up. I do have some regular ones here too. We might need to thin these out later, just because these are fairly broken up. I never know how many of them are actually going to sprout. These are Bolero pelleted carrots that I'm growing, the same that we put in the greenhouse. Okay, we're going to open these ones. This is why they are pelleted, or the ones that I like to buy are pelleted, because these are very, very, very fine seeds. See? Give you a good look. So they're very hard to space them out. I'm just going to put a few of these over here because I'm not sure how many of these are going to come up because the seeds were a little bit crushed. If I have to thin them, I will. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to plant some so I know where they are. And I'm going to plant some of these green onions. I bought green onion sets. Green onions can grow very close together, so I'm going to plant these fairly close together. I do want to dehydrate a lot of green onions this year. I do use them a lot. I really like companion planting. It benefits the vegetables more. Different nutrients from different vegetables that you grow them with. These are already starting to sprout a little bit. Okay, now I'm just going to take some dirt and lightly cover them. Cover everything. And then we can water this later when I'm done planting, and that's it. That's how easy it is. Oh, and put my little marker in there so I know what I planted. And there we go. On to the next one. Now I'm going to plant some kale and some red cabbage and some butter crunch lettuce. Put some fertilizer. I'm going to do it in these 2 pots. Mix it in. I'll water all this afterwards. When you're transplanting, you need to water right away. Okay. So in this one, I'm only going to plant Ruby Perfection red cabbage, or purple cabbage, however you want to call it. I'm going to plant it right in the middle. These get quite big, so I'm going to plant only that in this one. There we go. And then I'm going to plant some kale and butter crunch lettuce in this one. So I think I'm going to plant the kale over here in the corner. I do have 2 plants in this one. That is a good tip. When you're going to a greenhouse, if you see plants that look like this, you're actually getting 2 for 1, because this is 2 separate plants. Okay? So just a little tip for when you're looking for plants. See, I can separate it like that. So we're going to plant one here. I'm not planting a ton of kale, only because I want some for the freezer for soups and stuff like that. Plant that one next to it. And then I'm going to plant all butter crunch lettuce right here. So I have these seeds. Lettuce comes up super fast, and they don't transplant well, so it's best to direct sow them. About quarter of an inch to half an inch deep, and 1 to 5 inches apart. These seeds are super small, just like carrots. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make little lines here, and I'm just going to sprinkle it in like this. Do a little bit of chaos planting and just kind of throw a little bit in here. And I usually plant lettuce every couple weeks, so I have a continuous supply throughout the year. My red cabbage. And then you just cover it and you water it. Done. That's simple. On to the next. In this one, I've already added the fertilizer. We are going to plant lemon balm that I grew. And I'm planting it in this smaller pot so I can put it on my deck next to my sliding screen door, because lemon gets rid of mosquitoes. It's like a deterrent. They don't like the mosquito, or the scent of lemon, pardon me. Of course they like mosquito. I started these from seed. They were actually quite simple to start on their own. They smell very, very lemony. I'm just going to plant all of these in one pot. Just like that. There we go. Lemon balm is all planted. I'm going to plant a green zucchini. I'm only going to put one in here. I only want a little bit of zucchini, so I'm only going to grow one plant this year. We're going to put it all in this big pot because they get really big. And then I'm going to plant some celery. We're going to plant it in this one here. Break up the roots a bit. I like to freeze a lot of this stuff for soup, so that's why I'm growing so many. That, and I can use some along in the summer too. There we go. Celery and zucchini. Now I think I'm going to plant some peas and some green beans. So I put all of the beans and the peas that we soaked into these bags, just so I knew which one was which. Pole beans, bush beans, and peas. So in here, because of this trellis, well, fencing that I'm going to use as a trellis, I'm going to put pole beans. That's all I'm going to plant in this one. I soaked these beans and the peas for 2 days. Now I'm going to plant some in these ones here. And they're going to go up the fencing here. That's the plan anyways. I have never actually grown green beans, so this will be the first year I'm doing this. Hopefully it goes well. I think it will. I've grown peas many times and it's very similar. I have a little too many, so I'm just going to put a few extras in. Might be too many. If it is, I'll thin them out later. And then I'm going to water these later. There we go. I think I'm going to plant some bush beans right here in the front. I might be doing them too close together. We'll see. Hopefully not. I'm also going to plant a couple of these in some of the other pots. Companion plant. There we go. Now we can move on to peas. For the peas, I'm going to plant them at the back here so they can go up the fence, same as last time. I like planting peas fairly close together, usually a couple inches apart. I do find they germinate better when I soak them, but I don't think you have to soak them. There we go. And then I'm going to plant some in front of this one, just at the back of it here. Companion plant with some of this cauliflower, just to go up the fence here. I'm trying to utilize every usable space I have. There we go. For the leeks, I think I'm going to grow them in this smaller pot here. They grow fairly tall and thin, so I think I should be able to fit all 6 in here. I did buy these. I didn't have enough space to start all of my vegetables this year, so I had to buy some. I'm going to try and start some from seed a little bit more next year. Hopefully I'll have more space by then, or at least a better system. There we go. Those are the leeks. Now I'm going to move on to planting some bok choy. For the bok choy, I did put fertilizer and everything before I started, by the way. So, I think for the bok choy, I'm going to plant it in this big one here. They need to be watered, so they look a little sad at the moment. Give them a big drink of water after. These do get quite big, so I want to give them enough space around. These really needed to be planted today. They're starting to wilt a bit. If I get too many of these, and if they're like huge, I already asked my mother-in-law if she would like some of these. And one more. Actually, I'm going to move this one over just a little bit, just to give it a little bit more space. There we go. Now I just need to water them. Now I think all I have left to plant is tomatoes, which is at a completely different time, and some suchoy cabbage. So my camera got a little bit hot, so I'll show you what I did. This is the suchoy cabbage that I planted. A couple more celery. Yeah. Now I'm going to give you a look at some of the peppers that I planted in. So I was going to plant my peppers outside, but I realized I planted one right here, one way over there, and 2 right here. I realized for my climate, it's a little bit too cool to plant them outside. So I'm going to try growing them in the greenhouse. Yeah, so all I have left are basil, marigolds, a couple pepper plants I'm going to put in pots, and all of my tomatoes. So I thought I would give you a finished look at the garden here. Everything is planted except for, like I said before, the peppers and the tomatoes. And some lettuce. I got to plant some lettuce too. I'm going to do that in a couple weeks though. I'm going to plant them right here. I'm going to plant some iceberg and some buttercrunch, maybe romaine, we'll see. Look how beautiful. Can't wait for it all to fill in and look just gorgeous. So this is where I'm going to end the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me planting my garden, and I hope you stay around to see the progress. See you next time.